Yes, we are live in Redhill. What's it like to actually commute from this part of the world? Commuters using the train station here have had a pretty torrid time over the last couple of years. The long-running Southern Rail dispute plus problems on Thameslink have meant delays, cancellations, loads of stress. Our man Adrian Harms, you're just down the road at Redhill Station. Morning, Harmsy.
Yeah, morning, James. As you say, literally just outside of the station, which as ever is really busy this morning. People making their way in and out of Redhill. I have to say it's very busy in town anyway this morning because Fridays is market day in Redhill, and just away from me I can see people setting up their flower stalls and getting ready for people to attend the market. But it's trains we're talking about, and as you say, I've lost count of the amount of times I've been at this station talking to commuters who have been so frustrated by the delays on Southern and Thameslink that seem to have gone on for months and months and months.
Adrian, thank you. They've come to collect you. The sirens blaring in the background. Well, joining us right here and right now, we've got a couple of people from the Redhill and Reigate and District Rail Users Association. Stephen Trigg. Stephen, we've spoken many times before. Morning to you.
Good morning again.
And also, we've got one of your cohorts. Who's this beside you there?
This is Antony Simm, who is our new chairman.
Good morning.
So, Anthony, that's going to be a job and a half being chair of this organisation, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I took over from Steve in May when the timetable changes kicked in. Steve's handover was, well, the timetable's sorted, so it's all fine, and then May happened.
Baptism of fire.
Yeah, everything went wrong in May, so it became a very challenging job to start with.
So since May, what's the service been like?
Things to London Bridge on Thameslink have kind of generally improved, what with all the investment at the station. But across the Redhill line, other routes like to London Victoria have gone from 30 minutes to nearly an hour for a commuting journey in the morning. We've lost our connections down to Brighton for anyone travelling down south.
Sorry, when you mean lost, so for those of us who haven't used that service, what's happened to them?
Well, we used to have trains that ran through Redhill that would take you down to Brighton and all of the stations in between. So commuters travelling to Crawley, for example, would have a direct train. Now those passengers have to change at Gatwick Airport to join other services.
So that's an extra fast. Stephen, you're annoyed about that. Clearly, I could just see from the emotion in your face.
Yeah, no, it's just the whole downplaying of the line. I mean, when Govia took over, they were the 84th. Redhill was the 84th busiest station in the country. It's now slipped to 150th. That's a lot of passengers lost because of the bad service.
Lots of people. We've heard the stories, and we've spoken before about people changing jobs, even moving. Is that dramatic, isn't it?
Well, it includes me. I changed my job because I didn't want to commute anymore. I now commute by car, which is a lot easier, give or take the M25, but it's much more pleasant environment. So, yes, people are moving away from the trains, and that is part of the loss of passengers at Redhill.
Actually, I wanted to have a quick chat with you about the Oyster cards, which are now being introduced, and it's Epsom, I'm right. They're in there working this week, I think. Would you like to see them in Redhill?
Well, we already have access to Oyster within the Redhill area. It goes all the way down to Gatwick. However, it's not a zone. So, unlike in London,
so explain what happens now then.
So if you come out from London, you can tap in at a station with an Oyster or a contactless card. You can take the train all the way down to Gatwick and then tap out at any of the stations along the way. It's not a zone, so it's an extension fare on top of your zonal fare. But there are stations in the area that don't have it. So Reigate, for example, particularly for students who travel from Coulsdon down to Reigate for college, they can't tap in with an Oyster card and leave the network at Reigate. And they
often get fines that because of the arriving at Reigate trying to tap out. No possibility, and there's GTR staff who fine them for when they arrive.
What's the communication with Govia Thameslink over stuff like that? Do you find them sort of open and actually interested in actually wanting to introduce new stuff?
We have a good dialogue with Southern and Thameslink. They listen to us. We talk to them. We talk to them frequently. We don't often see massive drastic action. I mean, they're constrained by the Department for Transport. We suffer from the Redhill fares hump, where our fares are disproportionately higher than those at the surrounding stations, and we've campaigned on that topic for a long time. Southern and Thameslink listen to us, but ultimately the Department for Transport are the ones that make the decision.
How much of your time do you dedicate to this? You've got a full-time job, I take it?
Yeah, I've got a very busy full-time job. We man a very busy Facebook community of passengers and commuters who travel regularly. We're in constant dialogue with GTR and the Department for Transport and local MPs. It takes up a lot of extra time, which is all volunteer time by myself and the rest of the committee.
Must just quickly ask you about electric trains. They could be coming to Redhill. They've been introduced recently in East Anglia. Do you want to see them? Would they make any difference?
I mean, the rolling stock, the trains we have at the moment are doing the job. I think innovative opportunities for electric trains across the North Downs line would open up other routes for Redhill, where at the moment the electricity stops at Reigate. So there's lots of opportunity, but it needs further investment in the infrastructure.
Right, Stephen, you stopped being. Are you still involved? I take it in the.
Absolutely, yes.
You are? Okay. Yeah. Do you guys actually ever see this actually being improved, or is it we're going to be talking in 3 years' time in the same way?
Well, the Williams review that is going on at the moment from central government that's actually re-looking at franchising might create some changes. There's a big fares review going on as well at the same time at the moment. So there's opportunities. We've been complaining about these things for a long time. We're starting to feel that we're getting listened to. We're starting to feel that government is coming back. But the government has to invest in the railways. All the time it's about saving money for taxpayers, so we want to invest less in the railways and put more in fares. Railways, they oil the communities, they oil the commuters, they help us all get to work. We need the investment in the railways from government, and that is the one thing that we need to make a big change.
Well, you better get in your car, hadn't you? Now you're not commuting by train.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Guys, thanks for coming along and seeing us. It's Antony Simm, who's the chairman of the Reigate, Redhill and District Rail Users Association, and Stephen, who used to be, but is still, as you can tell, very much involved.